Are you looking for the best 75-inch and 77-inch TVs of 2025? In this video we will look at some of the 4 best TVs on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Samsung 77-inch S90D 4K OLED TV. When it comes to balancing picture quality and price, Samsung's S90D OLED is the best 77-inch TV you can buy. The S90D uses a QD OLED screen to enable pixel-level contrast control and a wide range of colors. This gives the TV deep black levels that avoid the washed-out and uneven look that some QLED and LED sets have in dark scenes. The TV also uses quantum dot technology, where the QD comes from in QD OLED, and this feature helps it produce brighter colors than competing LG OLED models. During our tests, we measured a peak brightness of 1240 nits, which is excellent for a mid-range OLED and 200 nits more than Samsung's previous S90C TV model. That level of brightness is more than enough to deliver fantastic high dynamic range (HDR) performance. HDR movies and shows look stunning, with sharp images and rich colors that come close to rivaling many pricier TVs. You can also sit toward the side of the screen without any major loss in image quality. QLED and LED sets struggle with viewing angles, so this is a key perk of an OLED like the S90D. Gamers will appreciate the TV's high 120Hz refresh rate, 144Hz with a PC, which enables smooth gameplay when paired with a PS5 or Xbox Series X. Samsung TVs are also the only smart TVs with built-in access to the Xbox app. This app enables Game Pass subscribers to play games without a console via cloud streaming. The TV's Tizen operating system is solid, with all the streaming apps you could want, but its navigation speed isn't as consistent as the best streaming devices we've reviewed. Though smooth most of the time, lag occurs here and there. We also ran into an issue with frequent notifications popping up for various updates despite disabling notifications in the menu. However, we expect this to be easily addressed in a software update. Like all of Samsung's TVs, the S90D lacks Dolby Vision support. Dolby Vision is an HDR format that can offer a more accurate picture when playing Dolby Vision videos from apps like Disney+. It's a nice perk, but its benefits are subtle, so we don't consider it a must-have. Visit our HDR TV guide for more information about the pros and cons of different HDR formats. All things considered, very few 75 and 77-inch TVs can match the S90D's performance in this price range. It's not the most affordable option we recommend, but if you have the budget, it's well worth the money. At number 2. Sony 77-inch A95L 4K OLED TV. Sony's A95L OLED is the ultimate display for enthusiasts who want a high-end 77-inch TV. It is, bar none, the most impressive TV we've tested, but it's also one of the most expensive. Like our top pick, the Samsung S90D, the Sony A95L uses a QD OLED panel with an infinite contrast ratio and high color volume. But while the S90D tops at around 1240 nits of peak brightness, we measured a max of 1500 nits on the A95L on a 5% test pattern. That's 500 nits more than Sony's previous model in this series, the A95K, and one of the brightest measurements we've recorded on an OLED TV. The only 77-inch OLEDs that can get brighter are the Samsung S95D and LG G4. The A95L's high brightness complements its pixel-level contrast to deliver stunning HDR images. Some HDR videos are graded for a peak luminance above 1000 nits, so the A95L's ability to go over that number allows it to display bright highlights more accurately. And unlike Samsung TVs, the A95L supports Dolby Vision. This feature can provide slightly better HDR quality in certain instances. However, in this performance class, we consider Dolby Vision more of a cool bonus rather than a must-have feature. Sony's picture processing also helps give the TV unrivaled image accuracy and even lower quality sources from cable, indoor TV antennas, and YouTube upscale nicely. And like most OLED TVs, the picture quality doesn't degrade when you sit to the side of the screen. The set's Google TV interface is reliable, with a well-organized layout and tons of apps. Given its premium price, it's also no surprise that the A95L has some nice design flourishes, like a backlit remote, an adjustable stand that supports 3 orientations, high, low, and narrow, and a webcam for video calls and gesture controls. Gamers get full 120Hz support when paired with a PS5 or Xbox Series X console, but only 2 of the TV's HDMI ports have the required bandwidth for this feature. There's also no 144Hz mode for PC gaming, something that other brands offer on many of their top TVs. Still, it's difficult to find much fault with the A95L, given how incredible its image quality is. Most people are better off saving money with any of our other best 75-inch TV picks, but this is the high-end display to buy if you don't have budget restrictions. At number 3. TCL 75-inch QM7 QLED 4K TV. When it comes to mid-range displays, the TCL QM7 is one of the best 75-inch TVs you can get. Like the cheaper Roku Plus series, this is a QLED with local dimming. But the QM7 uses mini LEDs instead of regular-sized ones, which helps it deliver better contrast and higher brightness. And rather than a 60Hz screen, it supports up to a 144Hz refresh rate for smoother gaming performance. During our review, the QM7 delivered colorful HDR playback and impressive brightness for its class. We measured a peak of 1700 nits, which is more than enough to enjoy the full effect of most HDR content. The TV also produces solid black levels, but they can't match the perfectly uniform quality of an OLED, and they're not quite as deep as those on pricier CLEDs like the Sony A95L. Like most QLED TVs, viewing angles are narrow, so we don't recommend this set if you often sit to the side of your display. The QM7's picture processing is also a step down from flagship sets sold by brands like LG, Samsung, and Sony. This is most noticeable when watching lower quality sources, like YouTube streams and cable TV, which don't look as sharp as they do on some other displays. On the plus side, the QM7 is one of the most affordable 75-inch TVs with a 120Hz refresh rate, up to 144Hz with a PC, so it can support high frame rate modes on a PS5 or Xbox Series X. The QM7's Google TV interface was also smooth and responsive during our testing, but we did encounter a few small glitches with certain settings. At number 4. Roku 75-inch Plus Series QLED 4K TV. If you want a 75-inch TV on a budget, you'll have to opt for a QLED rather than an OLED, and the Roku Plus series is the best value of the bunch. The Plus series is one of the most affordable 75-inch QLED TVs available with local dimming. Local dimming is an important feature for a QLED to have, since it allows the TV to produce more precise HDR highlights and deeper black levels. There are cheaper 75-inch TVs on the market, but they deliver a big drop in contrast performance and a narrower range of colors. During our review, the Plus series produced solid black levels, and we didn't encounter too many instances of blooming, or halos appear around bright objects. However, the TV's local dimming isn't as refined as pricier models, like the TCL QM7 or Sony A95L. As a result, we noticed some delayed dimming and fluctuations from time to time. That said, these issues are to be expected in this price range. Thanks to its QLED panel, the Plus series offers a wide range of colors and decent HDR brightness, with a peak of about 600 nits. For the best HDR performance, we recommend finding a set that can hit 1000 nits or higher, but 600 is good for this price. The Plus series is compatible with every HDR format, including Dolby Vision, which Samsung TVs don't support. We also love the Plus series' intuitive Roku interface, which offers easy access to popular streaming services. The Roku OS operating system has a simple and straightforward homepage that's free from clutter. The included remote is also handy, with a built-in rechargeable battery, hands-free voice control, and a tiny speaker that can play a chime if you ever misplace it. On the downside, the TV's viewing angles are subpar, which means colors and contrast fade if you sit to the side of the display. This is a common drawback for many QLED TVs, so we recommend opting for a pricier OLED model if that's a deal breaker. The display is also limited to 60 Hz, so it can't support 120 Hz gameplay on a PS5, Xbox Series X, or PC. But again, that's an expected trade-off for a budget-friendly set this big. In many of our other TV guides, we recommend the Hisense U6N as our top budget pick instead. The U6N uses mini LEDs, which should enable better contrast control than the Plus series. However, the 75-inch version of the U6N uses a different panel type than other sizes, which could result in worse black level performance. As it stands, we give the Roku Plus series a slight edge over the 75-inch version of the U6N.